In the summer of 1971, strange things started happening in the small town of Louisiana, Missouri. This 1972 song, sung by Bill White, describes the situation well. But more on the song later. Even though the legend of MoMo the Monster started over 50 years ago, his story, real or not, hasn't been forgotten, especially by those in Pike County, Missouri.
Well, Momo is kind of a Bigfoot-like creature, maybe just a little bit smaller, maybe more hairy, but has the same foul odor, has the same sounds.
Brent Engel is the president of the Louisiana Area Historical Museum Board of Directors. He's essentially the expert on MoMo the Monster.
Just about all of the big searches were here on Star Hill.
Engel says the first encounter with MoMo in Pike County occurred in July 1971.
Two women from St. Louis were on their way back from a trip along Highway 79 northwest of town, stopped for a picnic at one of the scenic overlooks, and noticed a foul smell. And they couldn't figure out what it was. And they looked over to the edge of the woods, and there was a creature standing there, gurgling and growling. And of course, they were scared. They ran and jumped back in their car.
The creature ate their food, but luckily the women escaped. And the monster began appearing elsewhere. The most famous MoMo sighting occurred the next year.
July 1972, a 15-year-old girl was inside her house cleaning a bathroom. She looked out the window. She heard her brother screaming, her younger brother screaming. And she went out and saw that there was this large, hairy, stinky creature standing there, holding what appeared to be a dead dog and growling. And she took her brothers back inside, called her father, and that's where things kind of escalated.
Linda Beer, the treasurer of the museum board, grew up in Louisiana but was living in Quincy, Illinois when the MoMo encounters happened. At first, Beer says she was worried about her family.
Because he was spotted on Star Hill, and that's where I had family living. But I don't think they were ever in great fear. I think that they kind of went along with the story that just all in good fun.
And the strange occurrences didn't stop. A week after the famous MoMo sighting on Star Hill, some residents reported seeing fireballs shoot across the sky in Louisiana.
There were up to 5 sightings during 1972 that were probably legitimate. There were others that weren't.
The story was picked up by media across the nation.
The major television networks were here. The New York Times, other big newspapers were here trying to track down this creature that a teenager and her 2 younger brothers had said they saw up on Star Hill.
MoMo even became the subject of a song. A young man named Bill White was working at a radio station in Bowling Green, Missouri, when 2 of his coworkers approached him with a poem called MoMo the Missouri Monster.
They knew I was a musician and played a little guitar and asked if I couldn't make a song out of it. And I did. I sat down and put some music to it and tweaked the words a little bit. And shortly after, a friend took me to Nashville for the first time, and we recorded that song, MoMo the Missouri Monster. And then we started playing it, and radio stations all across Missouri asked for copies of it. It just became what we would now say is a viral hit.
Today, White is a songwriter based in Nashville, Tennessee. And over 50 years later, people still remember his song about a Missouri Bigfoot.
MoMo the Missouri Monster. I gotta sing it now.
Once it gets into your head, you can't get it out.
And though no physical evidence was ever found of MoMo, his legacy lives on. For many years, there was a MoMo burger at a restaurant in Louisiana, and from 1973 to 94, a ride at Six Flags St. Louis was named after the monster. Louisiana, Missouri hosted a MoMo the Monster 50th anniversary concert in 2022, and Bill White performed the song.
My goodness, the place was full of friends and family that I had not seen, some who I did not recognize because it had been so many years. It was a wonderful gathering of people that way and a chance to sing the song. And they had some guy dressed up in a Bigfoot outfit came out dancing while I was singing the song. And
we knew it would be successful when people were lined up in the rain outside the museum to get tickets for the concert. They wanted to make sure that they got in. We had a packed house. He was just treated like a rock star, which he is. You would have thought he was the Beatles from the reception he got.
Brent Engel says it's clear that interest in MoMo remains.
It's been more than a half century since there's been a sighting in Louisiana, but there are still books, there are movies, there are television shows, and there are songs that have been written about it. I mean, it's one of those legends that lives on because people are still interested in it. It's still a mystery. We haven't solved it yet, and that's one thing that piques our interest.
And though the monster's existence remains in question, many people appreciate the story for what it is, just plain fun. Engel reads a letter that was sent by a Kansas City area woman to Louisiana officials in August of 1972.
Quote, "The thing that seems strange to me is what became of Monster MoMo. We no longer hear of him, and perhaps he was a figment of our imagination, or should I say, the people of Louisiana. But whatever it was fun and exciting."
For Living St. Louis, I'm Veronica Moheski.